Welcome to Bloomington Today. I'm Kaylin Cockerill. Thanks for joining us. School officials at South Education Center Alternative in Richfield believe that healthy living values are built long before students leave the classroom. And now the school is receiving national attention for a healthy school lunch alternative. Take a look. South Education Center Alternative's Healthy Living Initiative began with a school garden funded by a statewide health improvement mini-grant. Today, it's blossomed into something much more, earning students national attention for their work in the kitchen. They entered the Recipes for Kids contest, which is a part of First Lady Michelle Obama's initiative to prevent childhood obesity by incorporating healthy foods into school lunch programs.
The recipe had to be something that could serve, a whole school, that kids would like, but also had to be healthy.
We were on site at a practice demonstration as the team, made up of students, 2 Bloomington public health nurses, a local chef, and teachers, prepared their original healthy recipe called porcupine sliders. First, the kids start by chopping onions, garlic, and celery, then simmering it. Dried cranberries and spinach are then added to the mix. Combine that with brown rice and ground turkey, and you have a nutritious porcupine slider.
I think the funnest part was just coming up with the recipe in itself, and then going through the process of cooking it and learning how to what to put in.
The team is one of just 15 finalists and the only Minnesota team to advance. Working with local chef Todd Bolton, not only taught the kids how to perfect their recipe, but also cooking techniques crucial for safe and fun kitchen experiences.
He taught us how to cut without cutting our fingers. He taught us safety zones on heating and cooling, how long food can be out for before you eat it, cross-contamination. She taught us how hot turkey and chicken need to be cooked too.
If this recipe wins first place in judging, the next step will be to make the recipe at a cook-off held in Texas. Good luck!
Porcupine sliders!
Prizes include up to $12,000 in aid to create nutritious school lunch recipes, as well as having their recipe published in a Recipe for Healthy Kids cookbook. On May 9th, the students made porcupine sliders for the entire school. They also demonstrated the dish for a panel of judges. It's not just up to the judges, though. The team needs your help to continue on in the competition. Click the link, vote now for the 15 semifinalists, and cast your vote. Here on Bloomington Today, we want to keep you in the loop when it comes to events happening within the South Loop. That's the area between I-494 and Trunk Highway 77. On today's In the Loop segment, we stopped by the Minnesota Valley Wildlife Refuge to find out about some family fun activities happening in South Loop. Take a look. Less than a mile from the Mall of America, you wouldn't expect to find more than 14,000 acres of wildlife refuge that span nearly 100 miles of the Minnesota River. But nevertheless, nestled back in the trees off of American Boulevard is the Minnesota Valley Wildlife Refuge.
Well, this refuge is very special because we're right in the middle of 1 million people or so in the urban area, and this refuge specifically is here to protect and conserve the upper Minnesota River Valley. And since we have so many people in the area, we're also mandated to provide recreation. And people can do anything from bird watching to fishing to interpretive programs led by naturalists. There's lots of things to do here.
With more than 10 miles of hiking trails, interactive learning opportunities inside the visitor center, various programs for all ages, and a view that will take your breath away, visitors are made aware of the perks that come along with the Minnesota Valley Wildlife Refuge Center almost immediately, if they realize it's there.
I think the greatest benefit is the fact that people kind of stumble upon us and they're so excited that we're here. And they go out for a walk, see something really interesting like a neat bird or maybe even a neat animal like a fox. Today some kids saw a snake eating a toad and it was very exciting. So once they see something that piques their interest, then they come back. And we have miles and miles of trails to hike, enjoy, just be outside.
One event offered throughout the summer is bird watching treks. These quests for various species of birds range in skill and age levels, led by a naturalist, but that's not all.
Bird watching isn't the only thing you can do here. It is very popular, but we also have photography programs for beginner photographers to advanced photographers. Those are for anyone who are interested in taking photos of wildlife and landscapes. And of course you can come out here on your own and take photos as well. You can fish anywhere on the refuge, on the bank. There are no boats allowed in the water because it is a waterfowl haven. It's a safe place for waterfowl to rest and nest, so there's no boats allowed on the water.
Hunting opportunities are also available in the refuge down near Carver, not in Bloomington at this time. We'll keep you updated on different programs being offered at the Wildlife Refuge Center right here on Bloomington Today, inside of our In the Loop segment. If you're interested in the dates and times for the upcoming birdwatching treks, visit www.fws.gov/Midwest/Minnesota Valley. From there, you can access all the refuge summer activities, many of which are free and all of which are educational and fun for all ages. Studies show that skateboarding and rollerblading are two of the fastest growing activities in the country. That's exactly why the City of Bloomington partnered with Southdale YMCA, along with the cities of Edina and Richfield, to design a park where skaters, bikers, and bladers could have free rein over this popular pastime in a controlled setting.
One of the key factors is safety. You have a facility where we can have supervised usage. We can make sure that the appropriate safety equipment, helmets, wrist guards, pads, etc. are being worn, and that it's in an area where we know the structures are safe, we know that the conditions are safe, and the operation is safe. Versus out in streetscapes, you never know when a car is coming by, and you can also run into people that are not expecting a skateboarder or someone at inline skates coming by. So it really is a safety factor.
The Tri-City Skate Park, located outside the Southdale YMCA in Richfield, has once again opened its doors to spring riders and skaters with varying hours and prices. From now until June 6th, people are invited to come out from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on weekdays and from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. on weekends. Those hours extend to 12 to 8 p.m. every day of the week once school is out for the summer, starting on June 7th.
This skate park's unique because everything is vert here, everything's over at least 4 feet. It's not like a whole bunch of small boxes and rails that most skate parks in Minnesota are kind of put together with. It's really extraordinary. I mean, you don't see anything like this in Minnesota other than right here.
Individual and group lessons are offered through the YMCA. The price for a daily pass is $5. Also available are monthly passes for $60 or a season pass that's good through Halloween for just $150. It's time now for a short break. When we return, we're joined by Bloomington Fire Inspector Chris Kaiser to talk with us a bit about making sure your next recreational fire isn't breaking any city ordinances. Stay with us.
There are dogs, and then there are canine dogs. Come watch the U.S. Police Canine Association Region 18 Dog Trials, June 12th through the 14th in Woodbury.
Welcome back, everyone. We're now joined by Bloomington Fire Inspector Chris Kaiser. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you for having me.
Well, spring is here, finally.
Yeah.
So that means that people are starting to get outdoors, cleaning up their yards, even entertaining outdoors. And so we thought it would be a good time to kind of brush up on our recreational fire safety tips and, Why don't you first start by telling us a little bit about the ordinance that Bloomington has in place when it comes to recreational fires?
Yeah, okay. Well, first of all, I think a lot of folks may not even know that there is a City of Bloomington ordinance regarding recreational fires. And the main reason we have this in place is for safety and to make recreational fires enjoyable for everybody in the community, not just for the folks that have them, but also for the neighbors as well.
Okay.
Some of the things that they want to keep in mind is the size of the recreational fire. The city ordinance specifically states that the pile of wood that they're going to be burning can be no larger than 3 feet in diameter and 2 feet high. That comes into play sometimes. We get a lot of concerned citizens that call on other citizens that may be having a large recreational fire, large campfire, and they're concerned of the size. So if folks just keep it to that size, generally they're going to be okay. Some other things they want to make sure they do is burning the right type of material. The city ordinance states that it needs to be clean, dry firewood. And what they mean by that is cordwood, presto logs, the split woods that you normally use inside a fireplace is the same things you want to be burning outside.
Okay.
Where folks get in trouble again is when they start burning branches, needles, leaves, construction materials. All those things are prohibited from burning in recreational fires because they generate a lot of smoke. And that smoke becomes a nuisance, it becomes an irritant to your neighbors surrounding you. So.
And I suppose a lot of times people, they don't know that it's, material like that being burned versus, an actual house fire or something.
Yeah, correct. So.
Okay. Well, there are certain conditions that make or can make a recreational fire more dangerous than, if those conditions weren't present. What are some of those?
Well, I think the main two things is going to be location and wind conditions. Again, back to the City of Bloomington recreational fire ordinance, it specifically states that recreational fire shall be a minimum of 25 feet away from any structure or any other combustible items. So you need to make sure if you're going to have a recreational fire that it's 25 feet away from houses, garages, wooden fence lines, decks, things like that. So that'll help keep things safe. Also, wind conditions, that's even listed also inside the City of Bloomington ordinance. If you have sustained winds greater than 10 miles an hour, then you definitely want to think about shutting down that recreational fire.
Okay.
So.
Well, some people may make the mistake of letting, this fire will burn out after a period of time. I'm going to bed. Talk about some of the correct ways to extinguish a fire, and letting it burn out isn't one of them.
No, you're correct. That's not one of them. In fact, again, to the ordinance, it states that you have to be in attendance of that recreational fire at all times. So prior to turning in for the evening or stepping away from that recreational fire, you want to make sure it's fully extinguished. And the best way to do that is with water. Extinguish it with water and stir the coals. And some people may not know that campfire's coals can remain hot from 24 to 48 hours, which is kind of another safety aspect as well that we want to make sure that people know that before they leave them that it's fully extinguished.
Absolutely. Well, I know that you and I had been talking, and you said that the fall and the spring, the fire station generates a lot of calls as far as concerned citizens. Yeah. Talk about some of the calls that you guys routinely get, and maybe some suggestions to, deter callers, or maybe, put some minds at ease.
Well, we welcome all calls. You can, if you have any concerns about any type of recreational fire, you either can call the Fire Marshal's division between Monday through Friday between 8 and 4:30. If it's after those hours, please go ahead and call the police non-emergency line, and they can dispatch an officer to go out and inspect a recreational fire. The majority of calls we get are going to be due to, like I said, the size of the fire and the smoke. And the reason we try to see more of them in springtime and fall is because of yard cleanup. People start burning the leaves and the needles and things they shouldn't be burning, which generate smoke and becomes an irritant to their neighbors. So if they just stick within these recreational fire ordinances, you should be okay.
Okay, perfect. Well, along with bonfires and recreational fires in the spring, grills are now being pulled out of the garage and dusted off and starting to be used again. Why don't we brush up on some key safety tips when it comes to getting that grill out?
Yeah, well, Start off with cooking. Cooking fires are the #1 cause of accidental fires in the state of Minnesota and Bloomington as well. That's what we see is the #1 accidental cause. So a lot of the precautions that you take inside for cooking can pertain to the outside as well. Things like ensuring that that you don't leave your grill unattended while you're cooking, keeping your grill clean, especially if you have a propane type grill. You clean that drip pan out, you clean that oil catch basin out, things like that. Also with grills, we want to make sure that you keep them 15 feet away from any structure, your garage, in your house. So.
Okay. Well, kind of along with that, there are a lot of multi-dwelling places around Bloomington and all cities really,
Yeah.
but why is the location of a grill in that type of a setting so crucial, and what is Bloomington's stance on that?
Yeah, well, Bloomington has a city code that addresses multifamily dwellings and grills specifically. And basically what it states is any more than 2 units, combined 2 units, cannot have a grill or barbecue on a deck, on a patio or anything, balcony, anything like that. So townhomes, condo units, apartment buildings, anything like that, they're not allowed to have a grill on those decks or balconies. They possibly could have them on the ground floor units as long as they're stored and utilized 15 feet away from the building.
Okay.
So, but then again, you also want to make sure that those tenants of those follow whatever rules and regulations that their apartment buildings may have in place.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we'd like to thank Fire Inspector Chris Kaiser for being here with us today. It's time for a short break. We'll be right back.
Travel advisories to small business loans, student loans to taxes online. Whether you have information to get or ideas to give, USA.gov is the official place to connect with your government. From surplus car auctions to finding a new job, our new mobile apps will keep you updated on the go. So check out USA.gov, because the country runs better when we stay connected.
Welcome back. Well, we here at Bloomington Today would like to extend a big congratulations to one city employee who recently earned the highest professional certification in arboriculture. Park maintenance employee Jeffrey Loso is one of just 18 Minnesotans to successfully complete the board-certified Master Arborist examination. Having someone on the park staff with the knowledge of advanced tree care is something that has been useful in Loso's professional career.
Right now my primary responsibility is I'm kind of the crew leader out in the field, and I have a lot of one-on-one with residents. And what I do on a day-to-day basis in doing arboriculture, I'm able to actually utilize a lot of the knowledge I've learned in the day-to-day applications and being able to talk to residents and help them solve some of their problems.
Bloomington Park Maintenance Supervisor Dave Hansen also is a certified arborist. Loso is one of 6 state of Minnesota certified tree inspectors the city has on staff. Continued education, training, and program improvements will help keep staff informed and provide quality service to Bloomington residents. Reading trends can change very frequently. One day you could be reading a stack of mystery novels, the next romance literature. Why not do something with those old forgotten books that will benefit someone else? By donating to the 19th Annual Used Book Sale, also known as Book'em. The Bloomington Crime Prevention Association is looking for gently used adult and children fiction and nonfiction books, as well as CDs, DVDs, and VHS tapes. There are drop-off sites located all over the city, including Bloomington City Hall, Bloomington Elementary Schools, and Creekside Community Center. Drop-off sites are looking for book donations until June 3rd. Then volunteers will sort and organize the donated books. Then starting on June 4th through the 18th from 11 to 8 p.m. or from 11 to 5 p.m. on weekends, residents are invited to stop by 9801 Lindale Avenue and purchase books at a largely discounted rate. All proceeds will then fund crime prevention in Bloomington. It's not uncommon to see parents proudly displaying their children's artwork in their homes or office. Here at the city, we're proud to announce our next art display featuring the creative sides of some of our local youth. From now until May 30th, the Atrium Gallery on the second floor of Civic Plaza is the proud home of dozens of art projects from some of our area elementary schools. Sculptures, paintings, drawings, and sketches, you name it, you'll find it on our walls. If you haven't stopped by the Civic Plaza yet, make a point to. These colorful masterpieces by area young artists are sure to please even the most artistic eye. Residents are invited to drop by Civic Plaza during regular business hours, open weekdays 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. It's now time for another City Faces segment where we take you into a day in the life of a Bloomington city worker and see how they're meeting the city's mission of providing quality services at an affordable price. Today we'll step into the shoes of city laboratory analyst Deb Welton. Take a look.
Deborah Welton is a lab analyst at the Sam H. Hobbs Water Treatment Plant.
The main duties of this lab is really for our city. We are constantly checking water, meaning we're checking it for metals, we're checking it for bacteria, all the parameters that the water goes out as, like we check the chlorine levels, the fluoride levels, nitrate levels, ammonia, phosphates, anything you can think of that would be in water, we're checking for it.
The goal of the lab is to be sure that the residents of Bloomington have clean, healthy water.
What we're doing is we're making sure that when it leaves the plant, it's safe, and then when it's out in the distribution system, it's safe for our residents.
Deborah works in the Tri-City William Lloyd Analytical Laboratory. The laboratory offers a unique opportunity for the city of Bloomington to earn revenue by testing water for others.
It's a certified environmental lab. So that means that we're certified by the state of Minnesota to do testing for anyone. And so we do testing for various cities around the metro area, and then we also do private companies, well drillers, private homes. Anyone who wants to come here can come and pay a price, and then we test their water.
The laboratory also offers services to the members of the Bloomington community.
We do go out to residents' homes if they are really wanting us to test their own personal water at their faucet. So we do make house calls.
Working at the plant, Deborah knows how significant and unique the lab is to the Bloomington community.
I believe this lab is a huge asset to the city of Bloomington for the mere reason that I don't believe any other city has a laboratory that can test water, first of all, and then to be as thorough with testing water as we are. I mean, I think it makes people feel safe when they call here.
The Tri-City Laboratory is always working to ensure the safety of Bloomington residents.
We test your water 24/7. There's a chemist on staff here and a microbiologist on staff, and it just makes them feel safe to drink the tap water. And they can get any of their questions answered that they have about city water.
Due to its limited capacity, the water treatment plant supplements some of its water supply with water from Minneapolis.
We do buy some water from Minneapolis, and Minneapolis treats river water, which sometimes during the seasonal changes can have a distinct odor and taste issue, and our residents are like, what's going on?
Despite that Minneapolis's water is blended with Bloomington's, some residents still notice the difference. Bloomington is testing the water. The water is safe. It holds all the true standards that the EPA and state want to see as far as safe drinking water. Deborah's job as a lab analyst requires a variety of skills, including critical and methodical thinking, as well as the ability to collaborate well with others.
The work, as far as the work, I love the work. I love anything analytical, looking for different things in water. A great aspect to my job is meeting new people that come to use our services, and also just the camaraderie that the water plant has. Everyone is really cohesive and like a small family, and so when I come to work, it doesn't feel like work.
If Deborah could go on her ideal vacation, she would be underwater instead of testing it.
A dream vacation, I would say maybe going to Australia and scuba diving at the, what is that thing, the Great Barrier Reef.
To see other City Faces segments, visit the city's YouTube channel and continue to tune in to Bloomington Today, where we'll bring you more highlights of an average day in the shoes of one of Bloomington's employees. Well, that's all the time we have for today. To get more information on city projects, parks, road construction, and events, visit the city's website. To check out past Bloomington Today shows or other city productions, visit Bloomington's YouTube channel, accessible right from the city's homepage. That and so much more is online right now at www.ci.bloomington.mn.us. If Facebook or Twitter aren't your thing, sign up for e-subscribe to have updates sent right to your email or cell phone. This is Bloomington Today, a presentation of the City of Bloomington's Communications Division. I'm Kaylin Cockerill. Thanks so much for being here today.